When you think of the word poverty, what comes to mind? Perhaps an image of people in other countries who are struggling with disease and hunger. Poverty is not only a worldwide problem, but also a crisis right here in the United States. Nearly 37 million Americans live below the federal poverty line, 13 million of them children. Studies show that poverty disproportionately affects the most vulnerable among us: children, elderly, minorities, those living with disabilities, and females. When children grow up in poverty, they are more likely to engage in criminal activity and violence, and they more often fall prey to sexual abuse. With each generation raised in poverty, such cycles become harder and harder to break.
Children don't get to choose which parents they're born to, and some children are more lucky than others. And those children born into intergenerational poverty often don't have the structure that good, solid families have, like good social relationships, like good educational opportunities, like the infrastructure that a good, solid family can bring. So these children are often denied opportunities in growing up that many of us get to take for granted.
This cycle of generational poverty is evident in the Woodlawn section of Birmingham, Alabama. Here in Woodlawn, a staggering 43% of the residents live in poverty. This once thriving neighborhood slowly became one of Birmingham's hubs for drugs and prostitution. Those hoping for a safer community for themselves and their children were left without the human and social capital needed to restore hope.
This area right here was probably one of the most drug-infected areas in South Woodlawn. The corner was like, a lot of times people wouldn't even stop at the light because, you know, the drug dealers and criminals that got so comfortable that they could just walk up and just rob folks sitting at a stop sign.
Woodlawn area was not a livable place to live in. Had a lot of activity going on, not positive activity, like for instance the streetwalkers at night and the little corner drug dealers, a lot of kids just roaming the neighborhood, getting in trouble, doing stuff they had no business doing.
Many of Woodlawn's low-income residents felt trapped in a danger zone they couldn't escape.
The most difficult challenges faced by Woodlawn residents has been the lack of safe, decent, and affordable housing and supportive services for low-income families.
I got sick after I had my last son, and so I wasn't able to work full-time, and we were really just basically depending on my husband's income, and it just got to be a struggle. It got to be like juggling, you know, like I'll pay this one and then we'll try to pay this one, and then everything just started tumbling down. I did want to move, but I couldn't afford, you know, to actually move somewhere that would be decent. I was kind of frustrated because I never knew what, you know, would happen, and then the trash and stuff. I just didn't feel like it was safe enough, you know, for them to go out.
The YWCA of Central Alabama has stepped in to help the Woodlawn community rise out of poverty.
The YWCA Central Alabama is taking action. With an $11 million revitalization project, YWCA is partnering with HUD, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, the City of Birmingham Community Development Office, and a generous donor base in revitalizing the housing stock of Woodlawn and empowering Woodlawn's residents as they move out of poverty.
The Woodlawn Project, dubbed Y Woodlawn, offers crisis-based housing for families, transitional housing to help families stabilize their income and family situations as they prepare for successful independent living, permanent, safe, and affordable rental housing, and lease-to-own and home ownership opportunities within the neighborhood. Y Woodlawn residents must be income eligible and meet stringent requirements to access and remain in Y Woodlawn housing.
Folks, of course, have to qualify to come here. But once they're here and in our safety net of services, they have to follow a program that we've set out. They have to follow a program where they get a tax-paying job. They have to make sure that their children are attending school. Then after that, they pay their back bills. Then their money goes into a savings program so that then when they're ready to transition into an apartment, they have some savings so that they can make their deposits for their utilities. And they know about budgeting, they know about parenting, about effective things in taking care of their families that we might have learned at home, but maybe they hadn't learned before. So it's an important program in allowing these folks to break the cycle of poverty and to move into being, effective citizens.
Families that come to the YWCA, either in crisis or transitional situations, are assigned to a caseworker to help them secure and maintain employment, given health care resources, child care, food, and similar life support systems to ensure that they are prepared to succeed in permanent housing. For Sharon Huntley's family, the YWCA has made all the difference.
I am so grateful and amazed. I just love my house. It means a lot to me. The kids have a little bit now more privacy to themselves, even though they still share a room. It's a little more private, as whereas when they were staying in the 2-bedroom apartment, it was all 4 of them. So, we can all branch off. You have those days when, some need your space. And so we can branch off. The kids can go outside and play basketball, football in their yard. We've got a big yard, and we're starting our garden in the backyard. So I love staying in my house.
Poverty doesn't have to exist, but it takes tremendous resources and a keen understanding of its complexities to begin approaching solutions and providing the meaningful opportunities that can bring about real change. The YWCA has already begun this work and has celebrated alongside those families who have moved from crisis into independence.
The YWCA helped me and my family during a time when I felt like everything was just closing in on me. I had some bad financial issues that were going on, mismanagement of money, car trouble. It was just like, everything, like one thing right behind each other was happening. And then I moved into the shelter here, and we lived here for about 5 months. And during that time, I had an opportunity to save a little money, pay off some old bills, some old debts, get a whole lot of stuff straight as far as my kids concerned and their schooling, and just put our life back together.
Like many impoverished neighborhoods in the United States, Woodlawn is not beyond hope. Those dedicated to restoring dignity to this community know that by opening doors to quality, affordable housing and the kind of support network that ensures long-term success, Woodlawn residents will at last have the capital they and their children need to ensure a community of promise and sustained prosperity for themselves.
People should support the YWCA of Central Alabama because we make a difference. We have a mission, a vision, a strategy to build a more caring community, and we do it one family, one person at a time. And why should people help us, help others? Because we're accountable. We take every donated dollar. We don't take any of it for granted. Whether it's private or public, we utilize it as if it is our own money, and we grow it.
To have the YWCA in this neighborhood, revitalizing the whole neighborhood, is quite exciting for us, and we are so thrilled to be a partner to YWCA of Central Alabama.
We've given hope to this neighborhood. We've cleaned up a lot of houses that needed to be gone, and the folks that felt maybe that they were prisoners in their own homes have now become out and part of the community again. They're excited to see what's going on. They're thrilled with the shelter and the playground and the folks that are living here, and I think it's made a huge difference in a lot of people's lives.
I think people should support the YWCA because it's an organization that empowers women, just like their motto say. It does empower you. It gives you that motive to know that, okay, I can do this. I really can do this. Regardless of whatever is going on in my life, I can actually do this.
I would like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for me and my family for supporting us, standing by us, giving us the strength and the ability to get back up and stand on our feet, to depend on ourselves instead of having to depend on other people.
When we first started this endeavor, we thought we would just build a little shelter. And then, because opportunities kept presenting themselves to us, and we knew the need for affordable housing, our board is so bold and so courageous. They said, let's not stop now. There's other partners out there that we're working with, other agencies, churches, other foundations like the Mike and Gillian Goodrich Foundation, purpose-built communities. All of us are working really hard to bring more energy, more synergy, more affordable housing, a holistic approach to the Woodlawn endeavor. So our vision has changed from the beginning of just doing a small shelter to then transitional apartments to then permanent housing. And now as more opportunities keep presenting themselves, I think we're just beginning. I don't think we're going to end.
Support the YWCA of Central Alabama. Visit www.ywcabham.org.